asking people we don't know to risk their lives.
Strong man as strong as alone. You ever heard that?
That's not a saying. That's the opposite of what the saying is. Divided, we are not enough. The world needs Superman. I made him a promise.
If you have not seen Justice League, please do not watch this video. Go see the movie first. I've seen it, and I can guarantee that you're probably more than likely going to like this movie. I know a few people that haven't enjoyed the movie, but other than that, the majority opinion is just kind of like, it's fun, it's good, it's okay, so go and see it. What's up guys, I'm Jacob Suggs and welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be talking all things spoilers for Justice League. So if you have not seen Justice League, go watch it. It's worth your time. And I do have a spoiler-free review up for you guys if you guys want to see that. It's on the channel now, and yeah, just watch that if you have not seen the movie yet. The first thing that I want to talk about is what everybody in that theater saw me freak out about whenever I saw it in this movie. In the history lesson scene where they're giving you the history about Steppenwolf and his evil and stuff like that, it shows the Amazons and Atlanteans and humans coming together to fight this ultimate evil. However, in the midst of that battle comes none other than one of my boys.
Wow. I know, right?
I'm probably the world's biggest Green Lantern fan. I love the concept of the Green Lanterns. I love the character of Green Lantern. Ever since I was a kid, he was always one of my favorite superheroes. And although we don't get to see Hal Jordan or John Stewart or Guy Gardner or any other Green Lantern in this movie, we do get to see an alien Green Lantern fight against Steppenwolf and make a hammer construct. And I flipped crap whenever I saw that in this movie. I thought it looked like the coolest thing in the world, and in a film where the CGI wasn't necessarily the best, I will say that the CGI for that Green Lantern, for the very minimal time that we get to see him in the movie, it's actually pretty solid, and I can't wait to see the movie in 2020. But yeah, although Hal Jordan was not in this movie, it was really nice seeing a Green Lantern in this film, especially making a construct too. And I also appreciated how after Steppenwolf kills him, the ring just kind of flies off of his hand in search of another member. Okay, probably the biggest thing that you guys want me to talk about is Superman. In my spoiler-free review, I was having an incredibly hard time talking about Superman because he's actually in the movie a lot more than you think. The Justice League is like, okay, maybe together we stand a chance against Steppenwolf, but even then, we're not on equal footing, you know what I mean? So what they do is they take the human mother box, they shoot it in the Kryptonian chamber, and Flash is just running and charges it up, and Superman returns. Not like that. Not this time. Now, I was one of the people that was like, Superman does not need to come back evil. If he comes back evil, that's kind of going to be a disappointment for me, and I don't think that would work for the people that aren't a fan of Henry Cavill's Superman already. It's not the Superman that they want. Thankfully, the Superman that the world needs to see is actually in this movie, and it's the Superman that my friends wanted to see that don't like these new DC Comics movies. I love Henry Cavill as Superman, especially what Zack Snyder has done with the character, although in Justice League, it does feel a little bit rushed what they do with Superman, but I feel like that's more Warner Brothers' fault than anybody else. But what they do with Superman in this movie is just fantastic, and I love how in the final battle, how he actually uses his freeze breath to break Steppenwolf's axe. Seeing the freeze breath has been something that I've wanted to see Superman do on the screen ever since I saw Man of Steel. In fact, I remember my friend and I talking before we saw Man of Steel, and I said I wanted to see him use the freeze breath. I mean, I just think it looked cool. And it took a couple years, but we're finally there. We finally seen it, and it was really awesome. I really liked it. So if you haven't been on board for Henry Cavill's Superman before, hopefully you're on board with him now, because they really Man, that suit was bright. They really boosted the saturation on Superman's suit, so much so to where it was honestly overbearing at times, but Superman is a bright character, and he needs to be that way, so I can appreciate it. And he's like cracking jokes and stuff, and I actually like that. I like seeing Henry Cavill's charisma kind of finally come out and how he interacted with the rest of the Justice League. I loved seeing that kind of stuff in this movie, and it really stood out to me. But what stood out to me the most is when Superman comes back, and he's kind of completely out of it. He doesn't really remember a lot of stuff, he can't really focus, he just sees these superpowered beings, and he's like, are you my friends? Are you my enemies? Even I'm not really sure. And there's that really cool scene to where Superman's just basically taking out the members of the Justice League in this fight, and I thought that whole sequence was probably the best sequence in the entire film. Especially whenever Wonder Woman throws the lasso of truth at him, and Superman just catches it on his arm and pulls her towards him. And I also loved when Flash breaks into the Speed Force thinking, oh, I'm faster than him, I'll just take him out by busting into the Speed Force. However, it slows things down, and as Flash is running, we see Superman's eye just kind of direct towards Flash, and the face that the Flash makes in that scene was just one of the best things I've seen ever. His face is just like, oh crap, and it is the best thing ever. I love that sequence so much, and I just thought it was great. It needed to be in this movie, and without it, I mean, it just, come on. I'm glad that they didn't make Superman evil, but I'm also glad that he was kind of out of it for a little bit and kind of had to remember who he was. But the best moment in this entire sequence, and everybody's gonna agree on this, like there's probably not gonna be anyone that says this absolutely sucked in the movie, it's the scene whenever Superman just has Batman by his throat. He's holding him up in the air and he goes, "You won't let me live. You won't let me die." And then Superman just looks Batman dead in the eyes and says, "Tell me, do you bleed?" People have been making memes out of Henry Cavill's face from the face that he makes whenever he says this to Batman, and I'll admit it does look corny, but whenever you have context behind that scene, man, is it a different kind of face than just a pure meme. I got chills sent down my spine after Superman uttered that to Batman, and I'm not trying to be a fanboy or a freaking fan of anything. I'm just saying that as a fan of movies, that was like a gut punch. I will say that something that I didn't like about this movie was I thought Steppenwolf was just an awful villain. I really liked how he was killed though. I know that sounds like, man, that sounds really morbid saying it out loud, but I'm not joking. I mean, they really killed him off in the best way possible. Or is he dead because he just got dragged through the boom tube? And if the parademons didn't kill Steppenwolf, I can guarantee the Darkseid will. Speaking of which, did anybody else hear the Darkseid Easter egg in this movie? Because I thought that was pretty cool too. And that's something else that I really liked in this movie. I love how the parademons are just dwelling on fear and they're attracted to fear. And I thought that was really cool because it calls for some really cool moments in this movie, especially at the beginning with Batman fighting that parademon on the rooftop in Gotham. That whole scene was just incredible. And speaking of Batman, man, him and Wonder Woman have some confrontation in this movie. I like seeing that. I love seeing the League come together and their interactions with one another, and I love seeing how they interact with each other's personalities and powers and stuff like that. But what draws my interest even more is when they disagree with one another. That stuff's even better. Like whenever Batman's talking to Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman doesn't think that it's a good idea to resurrect Superman because he's at peace and Superman was dead. We all wish that he wasn't, but I mean, he's gone. And Batman's like, don't talk about being gone for so long whenever you walked away from humanity for so long. Did Steve Trevor teach you that? And Wonder Woman just hits him back. I love seeing that kind of stuff, and I love seeing the Batman Wonder Woman butting heads in this movie. It really called for some emotional moments, and I need those dramatic emotional moments, because when you're having a lighthearted movie, or at least a more lighthearted movie than what you've had before, these dramatic moments stand out even more to me. And that's what I wanted to see. I have no problems whatsoever with the Justice League in this movie. As far as I'm concerned, they got every member exactly right. And that's what I wanted. I told my friend before the movie started, if they get all of the members right, it will more than likely be a positive review. I've heard a lot of people complain that Steppenwolf really dragged this movie down, and in some regards, I do agree. But I think my friend Jay Hilborn said an analogy that really just fixes all of these problems for me, and I really agree with it, and hopefully you will too. I was talking to Jay about it, and Jay said to me, I'd rather see interesting characters punch a cardboard box than two cardboard boxes punching each other. And we see that with a lot of comic book movies these days, and as far as I'm concerned, yes, villains are a weak aspect of these films, but their primary focus is the hero or heroes in this case, so I can't really complain about it. I thought The Flash was great. I thought that Aquaman, especially the stuff in Atlantis, was really cool to see. Also, Amber Heard as Mera for the short little time she was in the movie. She was great. And especially the stuff with Cyborg. The stuff with Cyborg really surprised me in this movie. I love how connected he was with his father and kind of coming to terms with what he really is, a hero, not a monster. I love seeing that kind of stuff in movies a lot, and just seeing these characters come to life on the screen and being done justice. That pun was not intended. It was just really cool seeing them come together. Crap, that pun was not intended either, I swear. So what did you think of Justice League? Did you like it? Did you not like it? If I forgot to talk about something, let me know in the comments below, and I'll talk about it with you there. And as always, I'm Frame by Frame. Remember the name. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.